We don't go to jail very often, do we? Francis doing detective shit would be fun as fuck, dude. I love Francis when he's like a subordinate rather than command. It's so much fun. The thing is, I don't think I'd want to fuck over people on Francis, though. Like, I wouldn't want to investigate and, like, literally fuck over people that I'm going to be fucking chilling with later, you know what I mean? Bro, some of the, I actually got linked some of the messages of what the police were saying when Mr. K was trying to join the police department. Like, listen, guys, you know, and I've said this from the start. All you guys that have been on Chengang's dick and hating them for so long, because they speak shit about people, or used to speak shit about people. You know, they've obviously cut down a lot lately. The thing is, you guys never see what goes on behind closed doors, and there's a lot of cocksuckers here on Nopixel that literally fucking openly shit talk people on Discords and whatnot, like the Cheng Gang, and do it behind their backs. Okay, so the one, and that's why I always said the one thing I respected about them is, yeah, they would trash talk, but they'd own what they say. And I think there's much more to a person that will openly shit talk somebody rather than do it behind people's backs. Okay. There's just something about, you know, if you shit talk and you do it behind people's back, you're a fucking pussy. Okay, it's just that simple. You are a worse person than them if they've openly said something and you're doing it behind their back. And trust me, there's a lot of fucking people that do that shit. Sounds like ESB shit. I mean, it's on the same level. It really is, in terms of the shit talk. That is. Obviously, the RP is different. If you can't argue with somebody openly and still talk to them afterwards, they're not a friend or a colleague. They're, you know, just an ass, really. Yeah, I mean, like, listen, this is, like I said, so CG and I, back in the day, we did talk a lot of shit, but they will reach out to me as well and talk about it, like literally talk about the issue. So that's why I've always, you know, sort of respected that more than what other people will do. And trust me, there's very few people that actually reach out and will chat to you about an issue rather than do ratty shit and talk behind your back. And that's why I appreciate Bass as well as a cop, because, or Crane, as a judge, if there's issues, they're DMing. They want to know what's up. They want to try to resolve that shit. And yeah, there's a reason why I want them in those spots as well, and them being there is a good thing, I think. A poppers deal, deal some lemonade, dude. Hell yeah, bro. Those guys are paid now. The opportunity to change their lives. Folks should take notes. Well, sure. They listen. I'm not saying they weren't assholes. Like, don't get me wrong. They were assholes here and there. But like I said, a lot of the people that were assholes too were assholes to them behind closed doors. You know what I mean? So, I wouldn't, like, fucking, as a human being, be comfortable saying they should be fucking removed from the server when other people are doing the same shit behind closed doors, which in my opinion is more toxic. Howdy. Is more toxic than not, because when you shit talk somebody behind closed doors and spread those fucking those snake bites, that is way more toxic because it festers, right? If you openly say something, yeah, it's toxic, but generally people understand your point of view and will either reach out or, you know, change or, you know, disagree with it, either one. And honestly, like, and I've always tried to preach that too at these meetings. People are like, oh shit, dude, we need to cut out the toxicity, and, you know, you don't want to comment on clips and all that sort of shit. I'm like, bro, fuck that. I say you should be able to say what you say as long as it's done within a or at least tried to be done within a manner that is constructive and not demeaning to the person. And then who gives a shit, right? I really feel like the healthiest way you can have a community is when you do talk publicly about things and you know, say what you like and you don't like, because if you don't, it never gets heard. It literally never gets heard. Cloak and dagger shit. Yeah, well, that is, yeah. It is like that on the internet, trust me, bro. Cloak and dagger shit. I mean, it doesn't happen just in Nopixel. It's like that through Twitch and content creation in general. I mean, do you guys think me getting banned on live stream fails wasn't some fucking rat lord that despises me or some shit? Like, there was definitely somebody that had contact to do that sort of shit. There's rats everywhere, dude. No matter what.
After some technical difficulties, it was decided I would be performing. Hello, I am Zarina Vega.
So just Channel X, you see him be toxic up front. Yeah, you know, you're missing the point entirely. There's an entirely. I'm glad I'm banned from LSF, by the way, because I can fucking say literally whatever I want. I don't have to worry about some other pussy getting offended over it. If I could get banned on RP clips as well, I'd be the happiest ever. It'd be perfect. I could just, you know, chill in my stream and not worry about fucking Neanderthals. Yo, these songs are a fucking vibe, dude. This shit's dope. It's more cock than politics. I mean, it is like politics. The thing is, everything is like politics because that's the reality of life. Everything is about politics. Just the definition of politics, not actual politics in government. I was talking about this the other day. Like, you think about the politics here on Nopixel, right? There's streamers that get obviously because they're content and they create the server to flow. But I think the unhealthiness in the politics is when you deny the politics, right? So, for instance, I will openly say XQC is allowed to do more on the server than other people because of his viewership. But the open politics and honest politics are different to Twitch's politics, for instance, where they will ban Seer for 3 days because he's male. But if a female does something similar, they're often banned for 24 hours, or they can show their entire pussy on stream, fucking like finger blast that shit and get the same ban. The politics are clearly hidden, or, you know, women can go on fucking blow up fucking bananas, show their ass, and imply sexual positions and, you know, obviously be sexually motivated. But we have a rule set that says don't do that, but Twitch won't ban them because of politics. And I don't think I'm not saying I don't want titty streamers or anything like that. I don't give a shit. I personally don't care. What I want is honest politics from Twitch. You know what I mean? So people will see me as a shitty person because I openly say why things happen. But I feel like I actually get less backlash than Twitch does because they do shit in a shitty way that doesn't explain their viewpoint or anything like that. So it's the politics that I think are hidden are more toxic than the open viewpoints. I don't even know why the fuck I'm ranting about this shit, but we go on there, dude. Did you see what Quinn got banned for? I don't know the entire context of that, but Quinn says some dumb shit, but I'm surprised he got... Listen, I think it's dumb to say women get raped because of what they wear. Like, it's fucking stupid to say that. It really is. But to imply that maybe there's not cases of that happening because of what they were wearing is also, I think, stupid. Because it's fair to say there's probably been a guy that has seen someone dressing, you know, a little edgy, and it might have happened. But I'm not sure exactly the context of everything that happened there. But I don't think it's one of those things. It's the politics of Twitch, especially when it right now we're in a meta where if you talk about females in the incorrect way, you're more inclined to get banned because they have been suppressed over time. And it's the same with people of different races. They've been suppressed as well. So I was actually surprised when you know, the C word got somebody banned. But it's you know, I think the way he said it is why more so they got banned than anything. But yeah, you know, I think being a white male right now, you are not equal because of previous suppression, essentially. And that's their way of, like, I guess, and this isn't just on Twitch, this is fucking Twitter everywhere, right? A white male right now is more susceptible to you know, that backlash or that cancel culture than anybody else, I think. And it's, you know, it's rightfully so, because it's so we as white people white males sewed it into the culture over the last like 100 or 200 years. So it's like, you know, it's there, but you got to understand why it's there, right? You can't just say, oh, I'm, you know, I'm getting fucked in the ass for no reason. It's there because it's like literally fucking driven into culture over the last like 100 or 200 years. So you can only expect that shit to happen, really. Out of context, the Quinn said is pretty off. Yeah, that's why I said I don't want to necessarily comment on it if it was more than that, because I've got no doubt with what some of the shit Quinn says is. I'm surprised he hasn't been banned before this, like for other shit. So. White male supremacy. It was a thing. It really was. And it's still like that, I think a lot. Especially through like America and government. Even here in Australia and government, to be honest. Like when I say white supremacy, I don't mean racists, by the way. I mean like, the white male has, you know, held a lot over the world and still does. Because there's fucking 70-year-olds still in office in America and Australia. that's why it's still there. Because these motherfuckers, you gotta understand the timelines of life. Not many people think outside the box of their timeline and their lifestyle, right? So that's why I appreciate people like Tupac and shit like that. Because of how they articulated the world's problems, and understanding the problems they were in without being a part of it. Even like Bernie Sanders as well. He's a good example of it. There's people that can say what the problem is and how the problem's there. They might not have the best answers or the solution to it, but a lot of people are raised right, and I guarantee there's a lot more mentality like Bernie in the future. It just needs to come through from the next generation, because a lot of people are raised and they don't get out of their generational experiences. So my dad, for instance, he'll still say the odd thing here or there that's racist, and I'm like, bruh, you know, like And I know there'd be friends IRL that would still drop the homophobic slurs or, you know, whatever. And because in the 90s, that's all that was said at school. Like, you know, you'd call people the F word or the H word. And it was ingrained in them through their life, and they never experienced other shit, or they did experience other shit and they just, like, you know, blew it off. They didn't change as a person. So it's still in their nature to do that shit, I guess, if that makes sense. So yeah, it's something that needs to be, like, bred out a lot of the time for humans to progress, I think. And that's probably what's going to happen in about 20 years. Majority of us here, especially young people, will, you know, look at the older generations and think, like, what the fuck are you doing with our country, money and shit like that? But that's the control of the white male still. Like, it's literally just going to be there till the old assholes are out of office. But like I said, it's not necessarily, I mean, it is their fault in a way, but it's like, it's just how the nature of the world works. They're going to be stuck inside their that mentality until it's, like, bred out of them. Because that's how a lot of how the world changes is. So, for instance, like, you look at, like, a lot of European countries, not so much like the UK, because the UK has still got the same shit, but a lot of, like, you know, like Netherlands and shit like that, they have younger people in office, and I feel like they've progressed more in terms of, like, healthcare and, you know, survivability and the ecosystems of life and, you know, pollutions and shit like that. Because they've got younger people in office, whereas, like, America and Australia, for instance, have older people in office, and they're still, you know, stuck in the fucking brain dead money making capitalism bullshit. I blame anyone born after 95. The reason why this world is soft nowadays. Well, that's fair to say, to be honest. I mean, but it's something that's got to get brought out. So the thing is, when you grow as a human, right, you see the dumb things because you're not subjected to them your entire life yet. So when these people have kids, it's probably going to go into a circle and be like, okay, you know, it's sort of weird that we can't say this shit. I think we should just be able to say it, and there'll probably be more, you know, more shit being said again, because it is very obvious that we you know, so like, a feminist isn't for equal rights, they're for women's rights. Somebody that's fighting for black rights isn't fighting for equal rights, they're fighting for black rights. Someone that's fighting for male rights, it's the same thing. You aren't fighting for equal rights, you're fighting for your own rights. And it's a meme that I say in game that I'm an equalist, but the reality is, if you really want the world to be equal, you don't fight for one person's rights, you fight for everybody's, right? And that doesn't happen. Well, it does, but not by many people. It's just, I don't know, dude. The whole woke culture and all that shit is fucking so dumb to me. But I think it's the internet that's created this. I really think the internet is why the world has changed so drastically in terms of, like, don't hurt my feelings, because I think it's healthy to be able to joke with people and fuck around and stuff, but obviously, yeah, you don't want to take it too far at the same time. But if you get to the point where you can't say a fucking word or a joke, like, bruh, fuck, the world's gonna get boring, dude. Social media specifically, yeah. So this is the thing, right? So because there's a lot of this young generation coming through, they're the main they're gonna be the main likers and shit on tweets and YouTube videos and shit like that. So to farm that, you need to be touching on their subjects, and then, like was said, their subjects right now are, you know, canceling people and drama and shit like that. So people create that content for that reason. So, you know, they don't necessarily believe what they're saying. They're doing it because they get money, and they, you know, become relevant because of it. Everybody on the fucking planet, especially when it comes to like content creation, gets to a point where they don't do things necessarily for how they feel. They do it because that's how you make money, or that's how you become relevant. And you see it with a lot of streamers on Nopixel. Like people do certain things for relevancy, not for genuinely how they feel or what they, you know, what they believe in and shit. But blame Keemstar. Keemstar's a fucking idiot. That's a completely different type of person. Like he is a piece of shit as a person. I ain't implying he is somebody that's like, yeah, no, he's a different breed of retard. Koil versus Hassan would be content gold, no cap. I mean, do you think I disagree with a lot of what he says? I agree with a lot of what he says, to be honest. And honestly, I feel like if I'd prefer to talk to someone like Hassan offline. I say, and that's why I say, because I feel like even he is subject to like a lot of what chat says, rather than actually no, he goes against chat quite a lot. To be fair, but either way, I wouldn't do that for content. I wouldn't do that for content, because that's not how I do that shit. Koil is a lefty. Well, that's the thing. I don't consider myself a lefty at all. I consider myself completely separated in each circumstance, depending on how I feel about that specific, you know, fucking whatever it is, statement or whatever. I can agree and understand right-hand side. I can agree and understand left-hand side. I think both have good points here and there, but both have dumb points here and there. Neither side is perfect, and I think categorizing yourself in one side limits the growth of everybody, in all honesty. So that's the way I see it. I don't think you should pick a side. I think you should I mean, obviously you pick a side when you vote, but you should always be open to the other side and how that could better the country or the world afterwards. Let's get right into the news. All right, boys. All right, we got 500k. What's our stash?